Good morning. Good morning. How is everyone doing today? Ugh. You'll have to forgive me for being a little subdued today. I am super tired. Ugh. How is everyone? How are we all doing today? I look so tired. Am I okay? Yeah, I'm just tired. I didn't get much sleep last night. I got into a bit of a work frenzy because I was like, yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm just gonna get some work done. And I did get a lot of work done, but I didn't get to bed until I barely slept. The good news is we're here early this morning. We have an hour until the event even starts, and even after it starts, the guys over there tend to just talk about random bullshit for a while. Now I gotta take all my pills. Vitamins and fiber goodies. Fish oil. And of course, allergy pills. Yada yada. There we go. All caught up. Though I gotta do my nasal spray too. Because it's spring in Texas. And when it's spring, oh boy, howdy, do the allergies get bad here, man. And I don't mean kind of bad, I mean really bad. I'm sure this is fascinating to watch. All right. All right, so let's do the hello cue. We haven't done that in a hot while, have we? Anybody in chat who wants to be wished a personalized good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be in the world, feel free now to drop a hello or a good morning or whatever in chat. If you are a member or a sub, then use that good old sweet tic-tac-toe wave emote or something similar. And I'll be happy to give you all a good morning. But while I'm waiting for everybody to type that at, random stuff on my mind. For anyone curious, the Chaos Dwarf Q&A will 1000% be coming out this week. So between now and next Saturday. So that'll be exciting. Or at least the first episode. The whole thing might take longer than that, but the first episode. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. And Queek will be out sometime before the end of the month. I've still got about a week and a half. So, we're getting there. We're getting there. How do you do the wave emote? Spartan Elite, you can either just type in Sotek High, I think is what it is. Or if you want, or the easier way to do it is if you're on Twitch, if you look in the chat box, there's like a little face on the right. And if you click the face on the right, it'll show all your emotes that you have. And you can just like scroll through it until you find our channels. Any chance of another Who Would Win episode? Yeah, after Queek. Once Queek and the Chaos Dwarf Q&A is done, sure. Not till then, though. Do I think they're going to reintroduce Vlad von Karstein in AOS? No. Alright, let's say good morning, everyone. So, good morning to Jake Woo, Karanos Doomcraft, that's a cool name, Magnus the One, Sergeant Spaghetti, Galbacor, EA Diaz, Servant of the Great Horned Rat, Mr. Pig, Iron Orange, Soul Slinger, Carolyn Woods, Harzwaylin's Boy 030, Gork the Great White Wizard, Christian CC, Serinibus, or Carinibus, one of those, Empathetic Chaos, well thank you, Oz Elif, Gian Gian Villaralvo. There we go. Gian Villaralvo. There we go. Took me a second. Also like that name. Hello from the Philippines. Well, hello from Texas. I have a lot of friends from the Philippines. Dauntershi, Smiling Kira, Ollie Erickson, Delete This, Patrick Brosick, Melkith, Patrick Egger, Christoph, good to see you, as always. Go First McGoat, AV Extreme, Nilo Frieden. They have removed Kimmler Krell. Oh, they removed the Krell figure. Really? That is actually super interesting. I wonder if they're going to do a replacement model for Krell. Or bring him back, maybe. Because the Krell model was, like, pretty useful. Nilo Frieden, good morning. Saurus Blood. Zerzernov, Raw Cauliflower. Joseph Kirsty. Drexel. Vitarius. You Get Used to It. Silger, sorry. 01. The Mamba King. That's actually a name I used, well, a similar name for that on my Amazon's team in Blood Bowl back in the day. Jacka Diego. Hawk Oddly. Spartan Elite, good morning, good morning. Moise. Soru92, CJU Busta. Drexel22. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Persian New Year. Well, happy Persian New Year to you. I don't know what the customs for celebrating that are, but yeah, exciting. Hawk Oddly, thanks so much for gifting 3 subs. Wow, that is really loud.
Joins the red host.
Turn down my headphones. Where is Krell? Enjoy the subs, those of you that got them. Is this a Total War Warhammer thing or a tabletop thing? This is a tabletop thing. That's why it says Age of Sigmar in the title. This is a tabletop thing. Where is Krell? Yeah, I don't see them bringing back Vlad and Isabella, honestly. I think if they were going to bring back Isabella, they would have done it with Allender. But who knows? We know, we actually just got a short story. Like, they put it out, I think, yesterday on the community page, but they actually just put out a new short story talking about what Manfred is up to. We know that Manfred is apparently about to attack a really, really fortified realm gate controlled by Nurgle, which is, I guess, how Nurgle is going to tie into Mortal Realms tech list, because we knew that...
Reveal day and 2 months sub Lorimer 1 low.
Oh, hold on. What was that? Oh, okay. Servier, thanks so much for the keeping your sub going, my dude. Happy reveal day and 2 months subbed. Well, thank you for the continuous support, my dude. I hope you've been enjoying your time here in the community. Kiro, good to see you. It's been a while. How you doing? How you hanging? Could I give y'all my impressions of the short story? Yeah, so in the newest short story, we found out how Nurgle is tied into the upcoming big book for the campaign, for the event. So for anyone that's not caught up, just a TLDR is that there's a big fuck you event going on in, there's a big event going on in, I'm tired. There's a big event going on in AOS right now called Mortal Realms. We're only 1 book into it so far, and it seems like there's going to be probably like 5 books. But it's not it's basically like a large campaign that's going to take course over our real time over the course of like a year. And book 1 was about Morathi primarily, though of course it featured a bunch of other factions. It looks like they're going to feature like 5 to 6 factions per book. And in book 1, Morathi basically betrayed a significant amount of the Order allegiance. She betrayed Sigmar, broke away hardcore from the Pantheon of Order, but she achieved godhood at a cost. But she achieved godhood. Slaanesh was able to spit out a significant chunk of his essence to create a new god, a new Slaanesh. Not a new god like it's a new god, but like a new Slaanesh creature that is basically Slaanesh 2.0. That is not all of his essence by any means, but it's a very strong amount of his essence. Has broken free. We don't know a lot about it yet. And those were like the big points. Morathi is now a god. Her and the Idoneth Deepkin have created a new alliance who do not give a damn about anybody else. So the Idoneth Deepkin, the Daughters of Cain, and some of the cities of Sigmar, or like some of the groups that make up the cities of Sigmar, have kind of allied to form like the old school Dark Elves. And book 2 is about to come out hopefully next week. It's not coming out this week, which is a bummer, but it's supposed to come out this month. And it's Broken Realms Techless, and we know it features around Techless leading an invasion of the Realm of Death. Apparently it's going to be his second invasion, because they did release a White Dwarf magazine last month that covered that Techless kind of like punched into the Realm of Death, but retreated very quickly. And then Archaeon the Black did a counter-invasion. And it seems that Broken Realms Techless is going to take place during this counter-invasion, because Archaeon the Black is like in the midst of invading, but he hasn't... It's not going great for him. But in any event, one of the things that was super interesting was when they revealed Broken Realms Techless, they said that the Maggotkin of Nurgle were going to be one of the main players, because there's like I said, there's like 5 or 6 factions that are like the important guys per book. And they were like, hey, look, Maggotkin of Nurgle. And many people were like, what? How does Nurgle play into this? And we just found out that the way it plays into it is apparently Manfred von Karstein is going to be doing like a suicide attack. Apparently he is counting on losing in some fashion. But he's intending to attack like this heavily fortified Nurgle base. And we don't know why he's doing it. But, like, he went so far as to essentially summon a greater demon into his recreation of Castle Drakenhof, which is called Castle Sterneist. I think, something like that. And, like, he basically, like, sacrificed his castle. Like, it's totally, like, it's so corrupted, he's, like, not even gonna bother going back. To speak with this demon and to get a look at this gate. And he saw that it's, like, insanely well fortified. And the demon was like, yeah, if you attack this, you're totally boned. And Manfred was like, yeah, I know, I'm counting on it. And then killed the demon. So, I have no idea what he's up to. It's clearly going to tie into the release of the Soulblight Gravelords, which are the faction I am 99% sure we're getting today. Because most of the reveals leading up to today have been showing off new vampire count stuff. And a ton of the old vampire count range was removed from the website. So, like, you can't order it anymore. As of, like, this week and last week. So, it seems like they're building up to the new vampire counts today. Master of Warhammer, good morning. So, yeah, that's what today is. And I'm very excited. Because they've been going really ham on vampire... not vampires, only vampires, but, like, vampire counts. With the box set, Cursed City, which hopefully will go out on pre-orders next week. But Cursed City is very heavily themed around vampire counts, or Soulblight Gravelords, and has like a ton of new models for them, all of which are coming with War Scrolls the moment the book comes out. So I am, and they've like started talking about their tabletop rules yesterday, or 2 days ago. So I'm really, really excited for all this. Kiro, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I don't really count the Cursed City heroes as like special characters. Like they're named characters, but I kind of count them in the same ballpark as like Underworld warbands, where like they're not really pertinent to the overall faction. Like they're not leaders of the faction, but they are like unique models, I guess. They're more like they're not even like legendary hero equivalents from 8th edition. They're more like legendary unit champions. The new Vargulf looks fantastic. Yeah, the Var Skarg. Yeah, the Var Skarg is super bitchin' looking. Like, that is a badass model. It's like, that's a monster. What units would I like to see added to the Fireslayer roster? I want to see Fireslayers that wear armor. I want to see Fireslayers that wear armor. I realize that in their initial lore that doesn't really work, but I think they should change it and make it where some of them wear armor and introduce that, because I think even if their armor was like a light armor or like scale mail kind of stuff, I think you could do some really cool designs. Because at the end of the day, I really don't think, like, I think when your entire design theme is Slayers, you are putting yourself in a really narrow corner. Like, I don't really know what else they could do with the Fireslayer aesthetic that isn't just more naked dwarf, like, isn't just more of the same thing, but they're, like, holding different weapons. I think the Fireslayer range is a very cool, like, sub-faction, but I feel like as an entire race, it's super boring. Do I think the Vargskir will be able to be taken by vampire counts? No. Or flesh eater courts? No. I don't. I think the flesh eater courts are going to remain mostly like really like nasty looking things. Mini Magmadroth riders? Yeah, they could do that. Like adolescent Magmadroths, but it's more like a cavalry unit. That'd be cool. Yeah, they need more like, they need monsters that are not massive. If that makes sense. Like, they need, like, Monstrous Cav. Or Monstrous Infantry. Hey, Warg Druid! Thanks so much for using your Prime sub here, my dude. I appreciate it. Thank you. I don't know AOS lore, but could there be Fireslave Cavern monsters? Yeah, Fireslayers have monsters. Fireslayers have these big ol' FU monsters called Magmadroths. They're huge. I don't think Fireslayers work as well with golems. I think if you're going to do golems, that would be like its own faction. There's been a lot of hints that Grugni is about to unleash a new type of Dwarden. That's probably going to be golems. Dwarf Cavalry is an abomination? Well, in fantasy, yes. In AOS, no. In AOS, you can do Dwarf Cav and it works great. Or, sorry, Dwarden Cav. Yeah, I would see, you know, honestly, when they released the Fireslayer Endless Prayers, I was actually super disappointed that the lava monster was a endless prayer, or a battle prayer, whatever they called them, and wasn't a new monster, like a model. I was really disappointed by that. I thought the Magma Elemental could have been a really cool monster, and instead they just did something really silly with it, which I was like, oh. Or they didn't do something silly with it. They made it a prayer, and unfortunately, I don't think I've ever seen anyone take it on the tabletop. Which is sad, because it's a really nice model. Could Thorgroom come back to AOS? I doubt it. I don't think they're going to bring back... The only dwarf character I could see them bringing back... Besides, like, Grombrindal. I mean, Gotrek's back, but they could do Grombrindal as, like, a legit model instead of, like, a anniversary model. Make him, like, a legit special character who's, like, big part of the narrative and all this stuff. They could also do... Bugman you could bring back, but I feel like they've already kind of screwed the pooch on that. If they were going to bring back Bugman, they should not have done the anniversary model for the Caradron. And they should not have done the short story they just did involving Grombrindal about him. Crag the Grim? I feel like Thoric Ironbrow would make a lot more sense than Crag. Grombrindal would be disgusted by Dwarden. I think you grossly underestimate Grombrindal. I mean, Grombrindal does not agree with a lot of the things that, like, certain sects of the Dwarden do, but you have to remember that they're, like, you are correct that there are things Grombrindal does not like about Fire Slayers. That comes up in the most recent, not the most recent short story, the first short story. The first short story is about Grombrindal interacting with the Fire Slayers, and there are things about their culture he does not agree with, because he finds them a little too undwarf-like, in that they don't. They're a little too worried about things. They're not worried enough, in his opinion, about following proper Dawi customs. But I mean, there are regular dwarfs represented by like Dispossessed Dwarden. Dispossessed Dwarden are literally just Warhammer Fantasy dwarfs. They just haven't gotten a solo book because they're part of the Free Cities. When's the stream going to start? The stream will start in about 25 minutes, but they're not going to start showing new models for about 39 minutes. When will we get Malarian and his army? I honestly think that Malarian will probably come out at the end of Broken Realms. Will they announce Vampire Dwarfs? Maybe. I doubt it, but maybe. Do I think Dispossessed will ever get a solo book? Probably not. I imagine that they're going to stay tied in with Free Cities. I could see there being a new dwarf faction that are like Grugni's dwarves that are much closer to the old school Dawi, but I don't know, it's hard to tell right now. Dwarden are in a weird place. They have two, like, the Caradron and Fire Slayers are really cool, but I feel they're not fully developed yet. They feel more like half factions, but that's because they're first edition. First edition books, in general, first edition armies were really, really tiny, unless they were Stormcast Eternals or re-releases of Fantasy. But Caradron and Fire Slayers were like completely original, like 100% brand new stuff. And in first edition, unfortunately, if you got all brand new stuff, they were kind of like, oh, you get 2 to 3 units and 2 to 3 characters and a monster and you're done. Love the shirt. What, the TCU shirt? It's just a comfy shirt. How about Dwarden golems with old world character spirits trapped inside them? That'd be pretty bitchin'. That would be... honestly, that would be cool. I would love it if Grugni, like, used the spirits of ancient Dawi to create a golem faction. I think that would be badass. Do I think normal men, not Stormcast, will get new designs? Eventually, yes.
Biofoot78 donated $5. What was your reaction to an ogre vampire in Cursed City?
Hey, Biofoot, thanks so much for the tip, my dude. So, actually, I was literally about to talk about that. So, apparently, Radikar the Wolf is not an ogre. I thought they said he was, but they literally have, like, come out to, like, clarify that there is no vampire ogre in the Cursed City. Radikar the Wolf was a human who led a group of ogres, but he himself is apparently not an ogre, even though I could have sworn they said that. But I was corrected by some folks in chat a little ways back. But Radikar is not an ogre, he's a man. So there is not a vampire ogre. He looks like an ogre? Well, I mean, his chest is bare, but his model is too small. Like, his model is way too small to be an ogre. The only ogres in the Cursed City set are the big zombie dudes. Like, the giant zombies, they are ogres. But there is no vampire ogre. Just zombies. Can I explain to you how souls work in fantasy or in AOS? Is Valkya the only Valkyrie? Yes. Though, I will say, if they decided to come out for Khorne and release a line of models as Khorne's Valkyries, where Valkya is like the head of their order, but there's like a whole group of them, I would not be upset. That would be super cool. In real life? Well, I can't help you with real life. If I could, I wouldn't suffer from existential dread. You know, those lonely nights. Besides the T's in the new Dwarden in the Battletome and Malarian Zone, I don't think we'll have more Order factions. The Alliance is already bloated. Farseer, Eredril, I honestly think that Alliance or Order, I don't know if they're gonna keep with the Order. Order's weird because Order is like, it is the largest of the allegiances, but like I feel like Order is about to split into even more sub allegiances. Probably not, because like Order is such a broad stroke, but there's like so many civil wars happening in Order right now. Like they are not, Order is so fractured, it's not even funny. Are there any good ex-Dark Elves? Not really. Possibility for a new Lizardman faction? 0. Maybe, I think there's a very good chance that at some point in the future we might see new Lizardman sculpts. But you're never going to see, like, a new race. Seraphon already have, literally, like, the largest model range. Or one of the largest. Like, they have so many fucking models, but they're all, a lot of them are really old. Yeah. In the Daughters of Cain Battletome, the Morathi and the Celestant Prime did work out some sort of ceasefire, but I would not say they're allies. I would say that they have come to an understanding where Sigmar is not going to keep just throwing storm hosts at Archaeon until he takes it back and calls it Anvil Guard again. However, I would not say they're allies anymore. Wasn't Yuri in Poison Blade a nice Druki? He had his moments, but he was still like, he was still a pretty cold-blooded son of a bitch. What happened to the speculated Gitz versus Seraphon? I literally have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, well, Rock Cauliflower, there was a heavy rumor that there was going to be a Sons of Behemoth versus Seraphon. It would not have been Gloomspite Gitz. Gitz already had their verses, which it was Gloomspite Gitz versus Sylvaneth. All the Dark Elves just need a hug. I would never hug a Dark Elf. I feel like they would just do something horrible to my back. Never let a Dark Elf's hands go out of your eyesight. Or your field of vision. Can Morathi's armies do the whole 1/4 Stormcast thing? No. If you take the special rules for the city of Archaeon, you can run a Cities of Sigmar faction, but instead of taking 1/4 of your army as Stormcast, you could take 1/4 of your army as Daughters of Cain. Anything happened yet? No. We still got 15 minutes till it even starts. And they're not going to show anything for another 15 minutes into that. I mean, I'm going to, speaking of new Seraphon, I'm actually going to pre-order the Seraphon Warband today. I'm going to go to a certain store because I know they still have something that I want there that is hard to get. So, oh, I want to show y'all this. Y'all want to see something cool? If I can pull this thing out. There we go. So this little guy showed up this week. This, I don't know really what I'm going to do with it, as far as like how I'm going to use it. But, here, look at this. I got my Daughters of Cain Snake Boy. I wish the camera would focus. I need to get like a specialist camera up close. Okay, oh, there it goes. So this is my lava snake. I don't know what I'm going to use him for, but the moment I saw this model, and they were like, oh look, it's a blood snake for the Daughters of Cain, I was like, that's fucking stupid. I'm going to make that a lava snake. That should be a this should have been a Seraphon endless spell, not a Daughters of Cain endless spell. Screw the Daughters of Cain. Daughters of Cain are my most hated faction now. They keep stealing my stuff. But here, because I didn't know what I wanted to do with this guy, right? You know, I was kind of like, okay, so it's a super badass model, but like, what am I going to do with it? I can't use it for anything in the Seraphon army, really. There's nothing of this base size. So what I did is I was like, oh, well, maybe I can use him like a display piece, like a... Maybe at some point when I'm back to playing competitive multiplayer, a lot of the time what you do when you go to a tournament is you put your army out on like display, and you get like a lot of points and stuff. And I've actually got like a little lava city board down there. So what I did with this guy is he's magnetized. See? So you can see the lava base. If I can kind of get it to focus on me. And you can't see it, but what's kind of cool is there's this one rock right here, right in the middle. That's also like, it's kind of hard to tell, but this rock right here is elevated. That's because that's actually a magnet. So this is actually a magnet, so that I could magnetize someone. Let's see, I gotta kind of like rotate until you lock. There he goes. So I could magnetize someone standing right there. So like, I'm gonna have a Tehennewin model have its feet magnetized, and then I can put a Tehennewin in there, which will look kind of cool. But I'm thinking I'm probably gonna have this guy used for like a Realm Shaper engine, and like put this guy on the top of it or something. But yeah, I thought y'all. Whoop! Base fell off. Okay. So hard to get it to snag. There we go. Back in the display case with you. There's a new Seraphon box coming out. Yeah, it's for Underworlds, which I'm going to pre-order today. It looks really good. I will forever be disappointed how they decided to go with the Seraphon Warband. I hate that they decided to make it another Source Old Blood with a bunch of skinks. It should have been a Kroxigor, because right now it's a 6-man Warband, which is actually a lot, but 3 of them are regular skinks. Then there's a Skink Priest, a Chameleon Skink, and a Source Old Blood. I think it would have been better if it was 2 normal skinks, a Chameleon Skink, a Skink Priest, and a Kroxigor, and it had been a 5-man warband. The Old Blood, it's a cool model, but like, we have so many Old Bloods. And if you're gonna do like a Skink warband, a Kroxigor as like their big guy would have been way more fitting and interesting. What do I think Malarian's motives / personality will be like? Well, I think he's still fundamentally Malekith in like personality and everything. I think he's going to be, excuse me. I think he's going to be very, very arrogant, conceited. I think he's going to be seeking to become like the sole singular god and trying to overwhelm all the other gods. We don't know what he's doing right now. We know that he's hiding in his city and that Chaos has not been able to get to him. And he's so mysterious, and he hasn't been seen in such a long time that if you actually play the Warhammer Fantasy roleplay, they actually have some pretty funny notes about Malarian, where he hasn't been seen for such a long time that a lot of the like citizens in the Mortal Realms have different theories about him. Like, a lot of people believe Malarian's not even real. Like, he's just a fabrication. Or like something Morathi made up. There are other people who think that he's dead, and like he's been dead this entire time. Like, there's a bunch of really funny theories. We like from a like outside perspective, we know that Malarian is just fine and he's building up to something, but he hasn't been seen in the mortal realms for like 300 years. It's interesting that Malarian... Yeah, Malarian has a really interesting... with the Soulbound thing. What edition? No. The Age of Sigmar roleplay, which is called Soulbound. Which I need to... I need to play that soon. Did I catch the Vermintide Franz Loner's Journal? The newest one? I thought I had. Did they, like, just release another one? Oh, shoot. Nice find. Aztec, if you're in chat, nice find. Thanks for sending me this. I've actually been curious what the Starblood Stalkers War Scroll is. Let's look here. The Starblood Stalkers. A unit with 4 models. You get... Oh, interesting. The Chameleon Skinks just rolled in with the other regular Skinks. Chameleonic Ambush. Chameleon Skinks can blend with their surroundings. Odopodal uses this to guide them. Instead of setting up this unit, Kixitaka and Clacktrock on the battlefield, you can place them one side and say they're hiding. At the end of the movement phase, you can set them up. Oh wow, the entire warband can teleport in on the battlefield? That's bonkers. Oh, they're coalesced. That's interesting. They're canonically coalesced? Whoa, that's super weird. I thought for sure they were Starborn, based on the way like they're talked about. They have a 5-up save. The blowpipe. Oh, the dart pipe. The dart pipe does mortal wounds on 6s to hit. Their stat line kind of sucks. Like their attacks suck. Dart pipe's okay, hitting on 3s. How many points are they? They're 225. Holy shoot! These guys better be amazing. See, Kixitaka. He can shoot you with a Starbolt. Okay. He's a skink priest. Starstone staff. Pick a skink unit within 12 inches. +1 on a 3-up. They can run and shoot, and oh my god, that's amazing! Holy shit! Oh my god! Wow! Okay, Kixitaka is like super good. Oh my god! On a 3+, he can let any Seraphon unit either run and shoot or run and charge. And they get +1 save. Are you kidding? Jesus! Yeah, I see they're going live. Good lord! Kixitaka is like super scary. What's his command ability? Pick a friendly skink unit within 18 inches. If you pick your the Starblood Stalkers, this doesn't cost anything. Until your next hero phase, get +1. Oh my fucking... Are you kidding me? Dude. This warband... Oh my god. Okay. The Starblood Stalkers warband for Seraphon, broken as fuck. Holy shit, they are broken. That is absurd. Kixitaka has some of the most overpowered rules. They're part of the Thunder Lizard group? What the fuck? It specifies that they have the Thunder Lizard keyword. Why do they have the Thunder Lizard keyword? Am I okay? No, I've always liked them. I just think it's stupid that they have a source instead of a Croxagore. and that nothing's going to change that. That's just a fact. That they would have been a better aesthetic if they had a Kroxigor instead of a Saurus. Clockstruck has a cool model, but we've got so many cool old blood models. We didn't need another one. Wow. How's my beard look, by the way, chat? I shaved last night. Tried to make it less wild and ugly. Master Warhammer, I'm gonna be blunt. I don't give a damn if you like it. I'm giving my opinion. I don't need your counter opinion. The beard looks pathetic. Well, unfortunately, my beard does not grow in a good way. I don't know if it ever will. It just gets ugly if I let it grow out too much. Alright, I guess we should get this set up. No, nobody said it was ugly. I said that when my beard grows out longer, it gets ugly. Zerzernov, I've done that. It just doesn't work for me. I don't think I have the genetics to have like a long beard. I'm new to Twitch, so can someone help me out? How does subscribing per month work? So Spartan Elite, if you subscribe normally, then it will automatically roll over every month. So like you have to go in and manually tell it to stop for it to stop. If you subscribe using Twitch Prime, however, which allows you to subscribe for free as part of your Amazon Prime account, which you can do once per month on a channel of your choice, you have to manually renew that every month. MMO Addicted, thanks for gifting another 5 subs. That's 8 subs from you today, but wait, no. Who did that earlier? Was that you, or was that somebody else? My brain is like all... Oh no, that was Hawk Oddly earlier, sorry. Thanks for the 5 subs, dude, I really appreciate it.
Cursed Sotek spawn. Another wretched foul lizard thing joins the red host.
You gifted so many subs, dude. 82, good lord.
Spawn. Another wretched foul lizard thing joins the red host.
No, the Total War Kroxigors do not look like Kroxigors. They look like fat gators that stood up. That's all they will ever be. They're cool creatures, they're just not Kroxigors. Yeah. If you're ever working with resin, especially like Forge World resin, best way to work with Forge World resin is to... I've heard like the thing you want to do is boil water, and then let it like cool down to like warm, not like hot, but like warm, and then use warm soapy... I don't think you have to boil the water. I don't know why I said that, but you need warm soapy water. Like you need soap. And you need to scrub the shit out of that model with like a toothbrush that you don't want to use on your mouth. And oh, you know what the boiling is? If you want to use like hot water if you need to manipulate the model. So like if some of the model's warped, like it's like out of position, you want to use heat, which you can use like boil water and then let it cool off a little bit. But you can kind of like dip it in there, and when the model is really, really warm, you can manipulate it. You can't use no, you can use it. You can use. I mean, don't use a toothbrush that you're going to stick in your mouth later. Alright, they have started the talking. Right on time. So we're going to not listen to them for 15 minutes. We're getting close, though. The hype is building in my dead heart because I'm super tired this morning. In AOS, oh, sorry, I never answered the Souls question, did I? In AOS, I thought Souls can be reforged. That's how Deep came. Oh gosh. Okay, so Souls in AOS generally follow rules of like an individual has a soul, right? And depending on what species you are, you will be born with a soul. And depending on what species you're born as, whether that's human or dwarven or elf or whatever, your soul will have various properties, like how emotionally resonant it is, or how easy to manipulate it is, and yada yada yada. Like how full of energy, I guess you could say it is. And when you die, what's supposed to happen is that one of two things will happen to your soul. If your soul was very heavily dedicated to a specific god, like a specific power, but it's a god that is actually a god, like a sentient being, then your soul will basically go to them instead of to the afterlife, which is Shaiish. And your soul will basically be like fuel or energy for them. So not only does it sustain their existence and give them power, but it also, as part of that, allows them to, as giving the power allows them to use their power to do other things. So, when your soul goes to your god, they might use it to create something, for instance. But generally it becomes a part of them. Which is why when Nagash wanted to take over the mortal realms, what he tried to do was Nagash tried to make it so that all souls, no matter what, would go to him, to Shaiish, which would starve out all the other gods and get them killed. So what happened in the end was that, so what happens to most people when they die is that when most people die, their souls go to Shaiish, and it goes to an underworld based on what their beliefs in life were. So, like, if they believe that when they die, they're gonna go to an afterlife where it's a land of milk and honey and everything's wonderful and it's a paradise, it's heaven, that's where they're gonna go. An underworld in Shaiish will literally be created by their beliefs, and it will work as they believe it should work. If they believe that hell exists, and that if they've lived a life of sin, they're going to go into eternal damnation, and they've in their mind they've set up these rules as a part of their culture, then when they die, they will go to that underworld, which will follow the exact rules that their culture believes in. So if you're someone that believes hell exists and you've been sinning a whole bunch, you're about to have a bad time. But that being said, when you go into the afterlife, you don't live on eternally as a soul. You basically go there, and over time, your soul kind of very slowly unravels and diminishes and just kind of fades away into oblivion. So, eventually you die out. So worship itself does nothing to the gods in AOS. Well, worship is how you dedicate yourself to them. And worship does provide them with power and catches their attention, and it's a whole feedback system. But then things start with souls tend to get a lot more complicated when you introduce the elves into the equation. Because the thing about the elves is that most of the elven souls, so 95% of them, maybe 90% of them, did not form naturally in the mortal realms. They were eaten by Slaanesh, and he's been digesting them since the Warhammer Fantasy World blew up. So the elven gods did their whole shenanigan where they captured Slaanesh and they used these big umbral hooks, like these hooks made of shadow magic, to literally like rip into his guts to ensnare these souls and drag them out. And by doing that, they were able to pull out these tortured, horribly mangled souls, and they started manipulating them and working with them to try and heal them. And the different gods had different approaches. The very, very first ever souls that were pulled out, Teclis worked with them, and he tried to heal them of all of their afflictions by just basically like blazing them with light, thinking he could heal all their impurities, but he grossly underestimated how tormented their souls were after being eaten by Slaanesh. And so the Idoneth Deepkin have these really bizarre souls that have a lot of problems. And the thing that's wrong with their culture is that whenever a new Idoneth Deepkin is born, there is a good chance, a very high chance, that their child will not have a good soul. Instead of having like a full healthy elven soul, it'll have like this, it'll be like a warped, mutilated thing that makes what are called the Namarti. And the Namarti they have souls that are like constantly dwindling, and they will die super fast. Like within weeks or months at the longest as babies. And the only way to save them and like to keep them alive is basically to capture the souls of other sentient beings like humans or orcs or ogres or elves preferably, or dwarfs or whatever, just anything, and to basically rip out those people's souls and use it as raw material to kind of like patch the souls of the Namartis to keep them alive, which is where that comes from, your main question. But it's worth noting that that's really an Idoneth specific thing. That's something they had to work a really long time to figure out and how to achieve. And it's not so much that like soul. It's worth noting that when the Idoneth use something soul to like heal a Namarti, or to even heal one of their own number, they're basically like taking the souls of other entities and breaking them down into raw energy and using that as fuel for these other critters. What about the Wood Elf Sylvaneth souls? Where do they come from? They are not elves. Sylvaneth are, although Alariel is considered an elven goddess, due to her history, being Alariel, the Sylvaneth themselves are not considered elves. They are forest spirits. Pure and simple. So, like, Alariel had a bunch of seeds. She had, like, a ton of seeds from the world that was. And also, in, like, what are called soul pods. And she basically just planted them everywhere. But, like, Alariel can create Sylvaneth very easily. By essentially taking these soul pods that she can create from the essence of life itself, and she just plants them in the earth all over the place, and they will grow to fruition on their own. Are Orion and Ariel still alive? Kind of. No. Yes. Kinda. Sort of. Ariel. Hey, Darius, thanks so much for the super chat, my dude. You're welcome. Alariel is Ariel more than anything else. It is worth noting that in the end times, Ariel and Alariel fused to become one person, but Alariel was the dominant personality. Honestly, I think they should have flipped it based on how they decided to go or design her character in the end times. Or, sorry, in AOS. Because Age of Sigmar Alariel is very similar to Ariel. She's much more in common with Ariel than she does with Alariel. She acts like Ariel. The relationships that she cares about are much more like Ariel. Because she doesn't give a shit about the fact that her lover, Tyrion, who she had a daughter with that died horribly, is around. She doesn't give a shit that her political husband Malarian is still around. Like, she acts like Ariel. I think the only reason they called her Alariel instead of Ariel is maybe for some kind of weird copyright reason. But she is Ariel in every way that matters. She acts like Ariel, she fights like Ariel, she does Ariel things, and her only consort, so the person that she does love, the person that she is with, is Orion, essentially. Which is Kurnoth, aka Kurnoth. We don't know a lot about Kurnoth, but we know that he's functionally Orion / Kurnoth. He was a hunter god who was her consort, and we know that he went with the seasons, so he was strong or weak depending on what season it was, where Alariel doesn't really do that, and Kurnoth had a spear and antlers, and it was much more beast-like, whereas Alariel is very plant-like. And he fathered a race with Alariel, which are known as the Kurnothi. And the Kurnothi are a very, very interesting species that will likely get an army book at some point. I don't know if the Kurnothi are going to be rolled into the Sylvaneth and make one big book, which I would be totally fine with, or if they're going to be their own book. They could do it either way. I honestly would not be surprised to see Alariel try to pull off a ritual that resurrects Kurnoth, because Kurnoth died. Kurnoth was killed fairly early. Not super early, but fairly early in the Age of Chaos. He had a big fight with Demons of Nurgle, and he got killed because he was not in good condition. He was in one of his weaker aspects. He got killed off, and basically all that's left of him is Alariel's spear. But there's some funkiness to his being dead. He doesn't seem to be 1,000% dead. He's weird. But, nature gods, what are you going to do? Would I mind explaining Dark Kurnoth? I have no idea what that is. I have never heard of Dark Kurnoth. Huanchi TV, I love Cetra, but, Cetra's gonna come back, but he's gonna come back in Warhammer the Old World. I don't think... he's 100% coming back in Warhammer the Old World. I don't think Cetra would fit in Age of Sigmar at this point. Catacross is way too similar to Cetra. What time is it? It is... Oh, okay. So we're going to kind of have the volume on a little bit. Just a reminder, I'm going to keep these guys pretty much mute unless I am trying to listen for something interesting. But I'm going to be talking over it the entire time. If you're like, oh god, Sotek, shut up, then leave and go watch this yourself. Don't watch it here if you're gonna get butthurt about me talking over these guys the entire time, because you can literally go watch it on their channel. Eric Brown, the Slaawn did not create anybody. The old ones created all those people. The old ones created the Slaawn. Then they created the Lizardmen, then they created the Elves, then they created the Dwarfs, then they created humanity, and then they created the Giants, and then they created the Ogres and the Halflings. Are we going to see more Sisters of Battle baby carriers? Oh, I hope so. That would crack me up. I could use a good laugh. Did Cetra go to Norsegun? If so, why? Yep, Ollie Erickson. I've got a video on my channel that's really well made that I'm super proud of called Cetra the Imperishable. That's his entire life story. Go watch it. Oh, here we go. Here we go. We're starting off with AOS. Ah! Vampire Lord? Soul Blight. Soul Blight. Death Rattle Skeletons? This is it. This is it. They're just starting with it. Deadwalker Zombies. New zombie sculpts. Fellbats! New Fellbat sculpts! Kriza, the Rat Prince, we've seen him. It's happening! The White King on Skeleton Steve, we've seen him before. Come on, show me something big. I want like a new dragon or something. Blood Knights! New Blood Knights! Yeah! Look, a female Blood Knights too. New Blood Knights. There we go. There we go. So this looks like the starter set for the new Soulblight Gravelords. Wow, those Blood Knights look incredible. Come on, new special character besides the oh, wow, look at that banner, dude.
What a reveal. I saw the chat going wild just before we
oh man, Soulblight Gravelords confirmed. They're coming, dude. I know Aztec just like I know he's somewhere here in chat. Oh, dude, look at their battle tome. Oh, look at that art.
City, which is imminent in any second now. That'll be landing, but hot on the heels of Curse City is the Soulblight Gravelords.
Dude!
Including new battle tome, including loads of new units, lots of things that
Zombie Dragon, Direwolves.
Since the birth of Age of Sigmar, even longer in places. So
this is gonna be good.
They get round to this. Boxes have been ticked. Multi-part plastic kits, absolutely glorious, full detailed.
Dude, look at the new Blood Knights.
Exciting of the new kits that's coming up, and probably the most requested are the Blood Knights. Absolutely incredible.
Oh my god, those are so good.
Yeah, I mean, Blood Knights have sort of occupied a space in the heart of the sort of undead collectors of Warhammer for quite some time. Genuinely,
dude, finally, the vampire counts are back, baby. The vampire counts are back.
Of Warhammer. These do promise to be
so this confirms, this 100% confirms we're not getting a new Legion of the Gash book. Legion of the Gash is done. It's gone. Because these guys, all of this stuff was basically the old Legions of the Gash. I wonder if there are more unrevealed units. Almost certainly. EA Diaz, they would not reveal the entire range in one go. They never do that. There's going to be more models.
So
they're giving us they're giving us a little bit of cocaine. They're giving us that first hit. They're giving us that first hit, and they're like, "Oh, you want more? You fucking want more? You're gonna have to come back. You want to spend $100 every week? You're gonna have to come back." Like they're gonna get us. Ah, fuck, dude. Those are gorgeous models.
Hints and things in there to some of the older models, so things like the
Aztec. Are you here in chat?
You look at the things like the
probably just jizzed his pants.
Hints towards that ancient bloodline.
Dude, look at that banner, dude! That banner is sick.
Claws of an undead dragon. But just everything about the models is glorious. Like they're exactly what I would have wanted to see from a blood dragon, a blood knight.
Yeah, and if the chat is anything to go by,
dude, they never reveal the entire range in one going. They trickle out.
A quick look at.
Dude, the new skeletons look so good. Like when I saw Curse City, I was like, please God, let this just be the new range. Like, please don't let this be like, here's a box set and it's gonna be the only way you get these models, and you have to use like the old Haggard models in addition to these. Like, it's just new models.
Really, awesome kit, and I think every time I see Death Rattle Skeleton out of the
I'm addicted thanks to the bits, my dude. What about Leleat? Raphael, there's no Bretonnians in AOS. At all. There are two evil factions that are based on Bretonnia. The Flesh Eater Courts, which are the all ghoul faction, they think they're Bretonnia as part of their madness, which is very cheeky. But a lot of their units use Bretonnian names, and they think they're Bretonnia, but obviously they're nothing like Bretonnia. But the closest thing to actually Bretonnia is a sub-faction of the Maggotkin of Nurgle called the Order of the Fly. The Order of the Fly are actually very, very interesting, but they were Bretonnia. So they were Bretonnia essentially. Then they ended up being corrupted by Nurgle. They do have the lady, but their lady is a horribly nasty woman of plague who is one of Nurgle's strongest servants. But the Order of the Fly show up in a shitload of Black Library books.
a little bit further away.
They're one of Black Library's like favorite factions. They show up in a ton of stories. Oh, I love the new zombies, dude.
We have more Deadwalker zombies as well.
The zombies are fascinating. I love that their corpses have like been there for so long that they've got like roots and stuff growing out of them. That's so cool. They're so interesting.
And they just continue it, and it's unpleasant.
Order of the Fly novels and the Plague Garden novel were really fun. Yes. I wish Plague Garden had been a good book, but yes, the Order of the Fly parts were like the best parts of the book. New skeletons or Graveguard? Those were new skeleton warriors, not Graveguard. We have not seen new Graveguard yet.
Just a really fun unit, and also one.
I do like these. They're not as like over the top horror film as the old ones were, which I think I kind of preferred the old zombies as far as them like just missing random bits and like, you know, they're like missing parts of their. Well, no, these ones have it too. Maybe it's just the way they're painted. Like there's no gore or anything. They're like really dry. I think if someone were to use gore for like the guy's exposed brains and like the parts where you got like giant holes in their flesh and you can see bones and shit, I think if someone actually like gored them up, they would look closer. But dude, new Fellbats, look at that! Who would have thought we were getting new Fellbat models? Wow, the Fellbats actually look kind of creepy now. They look great.
Yeah, so Fellbat's been part of
the new Fellbats look super good. I'm so pumped for these models. When do you think they'll be available? Stardog, generally when they reveal something this big, it usually takes somewhere in the ballpark of 3 to 6 months for it to get released. If there's one thing that Games Workshop sucks about, it's that they like to announce things super far in advance. I would not expect Soulblight Gravelords to come out for at least 2 or 3 months.
It doesn't look like it seems just it's like it's.
And based on the way they've been doing things, I doubt the entire range will come out right at the start. They've been liking to like split the range up, but you know, we'll see what they do. I'm glad they're still getting skeletons though. I was honestly kind of worried that Ossiarch Bone Reapers being like the actual skeleton faction, even though they don't really look a ton like they're skeletal, but they're a little weird. I'm glad that the Soulblight Gravelords get to keep classic skeletons. It's called hype. If you're building a hype train over the course of 3 months, but here's the thing. Games Workshop sucks at building hype, objectively. Like, the problem with Games Workshop is that they don't, like, give you a tease and then keep build, release. What they do is, like, 3+ months before reveal, they're like, hey, check out this super badass thing. And then they'll progressively talk less and less and less about it for months and stretch it out. And you forget about it. Like, you totally forget. And then they'll be like, the week of, they'll be like, oh, by the way, this thing's coming out. And everyone's like, oh, fuck. There have been so many times that they'll release something and, like, people won't know. Like, people don't realize they released something. Because Games Workshop sucks dick at hype. They're one of the worst companies I have ever seen when it comes to hype building. And they just do it to themselves constantly. It's just like their favorite thing to do. Like Games Workshop does. If you like building hype, then Games Workshop's method should be a learning experience of what not to do. Video games know how to build hype. Games Workshop does not know how to build hype.
There you go. I'm going to describe it as somebody in the chat just did.
It makes the consumer build up their own hype and hype in their minds. Nah. Like, unless it's literally the only thing you do in your life, yeah, I guess, but that's a pretty weak argument. Like, for most people, like, you live life, you go to work, you have hobbies, you hang out with people, you have other hobbies, and, like, you forget, because Games Workshop stops talking about it. Master of Warhammer, you say the dumbest shit, dude. Like, Mike, quit! Don't be a gatekeeper, dude. Shush. Be quiet.
You could kind of do it, but they were definitely like a subsidiary army that was kind of bolted onto some of the death stuff. But this is like
new zombie dragon models? Maybe. I mean, the current zombie dragon models isn't that old. It was an 8th edition,
There was a
8th edition
skeleton,
sculpt.
so you could put Zombies, or if like you got actually I just super love blood knights. I just want loads of blood knights. You can do a really,
Do I think
really
this
good
increases the likelihood of a vampire counts versus X DLC for Total War? At some point, yes. Well, no, maybe not. No, I mean none of these models would be used for Total War.
Whatever it is you love about it, you can do a great army for the
Sure. Now, Raph tells me that we have spent our time amongst the Grave Lords.
The community page got updated. Great. It's probably just gonna literally show what we just did. Oh, 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 more stuff. More AOS.
I was buried in the mountain, trapped under the rock. I have escaped my prison, but my people are gone.
What the hell is this? Broken Realms Kragnos? Who the fuck is Kragnos?
So there we are with another tease of the ongoing.
Another Broken Realm?
Eddie, what can you tell us?
Well, so right now, Adam, there's not a huge amount more we can tell you about that, but I think there's some tantalizing stuff in there already. So this is a future hint at some of the things that might be coming for Broken Realms, and there's a title called Kragnos. So this is a name I don't think we've heard before.
They're releasing
something new, something different.
They're announcing the 4th book,
big and scary and impressive,
and we still don't have the second
Realms
book
for Age of Sigmar. And generally, when big stuff comes for Warhammer, it's usually bad news for some or all involved.
Yeah,
but plenty of good news in there for lots of hobbyists and some cool stuff on the way.
I think what's interesting when you look at what we've seen for the Broken Realms series so far is that the names involved are major players. These are powerful, sort of world-altering characters. Kragnos is new, and I'm excited to see what that is. You can see that
he wasn't a dragon ogre. He had hooves.
Wild guesses. Some much further from the truth than others have a little bit of insight into this, and we're not going to give too much away at this point. We'll help you see the unfolding journey as we reach towards the release of Broken Realms Kragnos. Eddie, we probably should touch on Broken Realms tech list as well, right?
Yeah. So just to give
yeah,
you
what the fuck is the deal with that, dudes?
On Broken Realms. This is an ongoing narrative, the big ongoing narrative in Warhammer.
Yeah, you know, maybe you should stop talking about it and actually, like, publish the fucking books.
Nagash doing some shenanigans
Jesus.
with the Soul Wars and basically trying to suck in all life and death power in the realms into himself, basically, and ascend to be the ultimate force in the realms, which obviously would be bad news for everybody else. And several players aren't too fond of this, so we know that Morathi, while all this has been going on, has made a play for Godhood herself and to kind of overtake.
Is it a Beastman? No, I don't think so, because he seemed to be talking about a civilization.
We have Broken Realms tech list, which will see tech lists effectively try to close down Nagash's magical shenanigans.
Broken Realms Helm and Gorst, right?
We've obviously had some disruption to schedules and things over the past few weeks and months, but the news we can share with you today is that Broken Realms tech list will be available for pre-order next weekend. So if you've been waiting eagerly for tech list and all of his Lumineth buddies to show up.
Thank fucking God. Okay, so Broken Realms tech list goes on pre-order next week. Thank goodness. Next Saturday, Broken Realms tech list is finally coming out.
So I'm particularly excited about him. He's got use in both Warhammer 40,000 and Warhammer Age of Sigmar.
I have a pretty meaty demon army, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, I think.
And then in another 3 months we'll get Be'lakor, and then 3 months after that we'll get Kragnos, I guess. It's the realm of beasts for sure. I don't know.
But we know that
Dude, Kragnos is there is nothing on that guy. I have read all of the AOS books. Kragnos is totally new. Like, I have no idea who this guy is. Like, here, they'll update him here on the preview page.
And I'm not going to tell you who is who. I like it. Of course, we are not done with our time here in the Mortal Realms. There is still Warhammer 40,000 and...
Okay, so hold on. Let's.
I was buried in the mountain, trapped under the rock.
I was buried in the mountain, trapped under the rock.
I have escaped my prison,
I've escaped my prison.
but my people are gone.
Okay, so I think he's Kurnothi. I honestly think he's Karnathi. Because look, he's got hooves. And he's got... I don't think he's a beastman. Because if he was a beastman, I don't think he would be, like, looking at an ancient lost civilization. I think he's Karnathi. I'm missing a reveal. Oh. Oh, these are the Bone Reapers. Hey, look, they got a skeleton archer. Whatever, they'll update the other page.
They've done it again every single time.
Wood elf carving?
Warhammer Underworld's warband revealed. It just
What, this part?
blows up with how awesome
Like, the only reason I'm like, is he a wood elf? Is because, like, he's got, like, chains and the weapon's really funky looking for a wood elf.
And this is exactly what you see here.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he busted out of the beast grave as well.
Into the realm of beast, into the beast.
I mean, this doesn't look like the realm of life. So, like, I have a hard time thinking he's Karnathi because this doesn't look like the realm of life. This looks like the realm of beasts.
Leave home empty-handed. They're going to try and collect some bones and get back from the gash. And there's lots of bones.
Isn't the beast grave a mountain? Yes. The beast grave is a living mountain.
Make sure that the tax is paid.
No, it's not a bull centaur. That is not a bull centaur. Look at his hooves. It looks like he's got a tree branch coming off it.
nice about. I've looked in not great
What?
detail, but a little
No, I don't think so. I think it's just hair.
And of course, as you might expect, as that tide mounts, they
He's got like a spike coming out here.
finds out about
I don't know. I would be able to tell. I think I'd be able to tell a lot more if he was in color.
commented on. And
It's really hard to tell what is going on with this dude because it's basically black and white.
fella in the middle is just the end of level boss duel worst nightmare.
Yes, so I think all
The horns are very Karnathi. That's true. Well, and it looks like he might have elf ears, but I mean, a lot of things have pointed ears in AOS.
they're quite
I mean, if he's a Karnathi, he's fucking huge for a Karnathi.
the big boss guy there
Like, this dude is big.
is unlike anything we've really seen. And we
Look at the Hunters of Skate. There's one that looks just like him. Oh, that's true. They do have, like, the...
what is he
They do have the... Oops. The, like, Centaur dude.
across all of it, but just that
Underworlds. Warbands. Wow. Why are there so few warbands for sale on the website?
I'm not sure whether it's the sort of apron of stitched skin or the sort of way that he's very
He's in the Beastgrave set.
very horrifying. I work with a fellow called Adam.
Yeah, this guy.
Never too many. And he was super excited about the bone.
I mean, this guy's pretty different looking, though.
Quite a large Ossiarch
Like, this guy's got, like, a spiked tail. This guy has a normal tail. So, I mean, if this guy is a Karnathi, he's definitely a different species. I don't think he's like a... Ooh! He might be an Ogroid Myrmidon? That... He does have a very Ogroid feel to him. That's true.
There aren't any Ossiarchs with double-handed weapons either, so there's some weapon combinations in this warband that are...
He's a dwarf.
This,
He has a lot of hair. Man, I'm not gonna lie. When I heard his voice and he was like buried under the mountain, I was like about to lose my shit because I thought it was Kraken Rock. But no, it's just some. Yeah, I mean, there's no way to really know. We're gonna be guessing. Ossiarch Bone Reaper Warband looks pretty cool. Dude, that axe is sick. I love that axe design.
interesting as well, if you play Warhammer...
They get one archer.
It doesn't matter. He could be on... I guess that is based on...
I guess not, but
There's been a lot of curiosity. Does anyone else feel like this looks like a what do they call it? Composite bow, compact bow? The like it looks like a modern day bow. The bone bow, like the way its design looks.
so Child of Rapture would like to see
Yeah, this looks like a neat warband.
units. And I'm inclined to agree.
It's basically like
When you look
the Seraphon warband. You get 6 little dudes and 1 big fucker.
to be a really nice way to provide you with an introduction to maybe something new that you haven't considered before when you're playing around in Warhammer Age of Sigmar.
I'm curious if this means the OBR are going to get an archer unit at some point.
In my head, that's what I'd love to
I honestly would not be upset if the OBR got archers. That would actually help tie them even closer to their Tomb King ancestry.
warbands in. Assembled...
A compound? Oh yeah, compound bow. Is that the word I was looking for?
Stormcast of the Skaven from the very first edition, but certainly in my head there races.
Imagine a Kraken. Yeah, I would love a Kraken Rock model. I want Kraken Rock for Beasts of Chaos so bad. Do I think the rumbling in the earth is related to the speculated bug faction? Delete this? Yeah, I think there is a very high likelihood we'll get a bug faction at some point. Beastgrave did a lot of setup for the bug faction. I don't know when they're going to come out, but I do think they will at some point. Why does the big skelly man look like he has antlers? So the Ossiarch Bone Reapers have characters, and some of the characters, I forget what their title is, but one of the variants of the heroes of the Ossiarch Bone Reapers have those crazy antler things. I'm a pretty chill dude. I'm also very tired right now. The video on YouTube is called A God Awakens. So he's a god? He's a god that was buried under a mountain. What the hell? I don't think... Yeah, I don't think it's Kurnoth. Because Kurnoth is dead. Like, the only way Kurnoth could come back is someone has to resurrect him. Oh, we got 40k stuff, which I don't really care about, but I'll at least watch it. Oh, isn't this just like a new faction? For... Oh yeah, this is Necromunda. Dude, that first edition... It's not Beastman. I don't think it's Beastman. Did y'all see the trailer for the Necromunda FPS? Actually looks pretty good. Do I have a video on the bug faction for AOS? No. There is so little. I don't even think I could make a video about them. Like, that's longer than 5 minutes. Like, we know virtually nothing about them. The House of Faith. Cool. Yeah, the only thing we know about the bug faction is that they lived in the Beastgrave, and they're weird. It's like a whole thing. They're a very, very strange race. No, Louisa Garner, this guy is not a Beastman. He's not a Beastman. He's not nearly, like, chaosy looking enough. I think he's some kind of new race or something. I don't know what the hell he is. I do not think he's related to the Beastmen, though. Because he's clearly looking at this ancient city like there are supposed to be people here that he's looking for and they're gone. Like, it's a fallen city that's not supposed to be. Beastmen do not have cities. Beastmen are wild... Beastmen hate all forms of civilization. Like, they would never have a city. Bug faction sounds like AOS Tyranids. They're not like Tyranids. The Bug faction in AOS are very, like... They're very, very intelligent, but they're very big on hibernation. And apparently they're, like, quite large. Like, they're all, like... larger than man. Like, larger than humans. And they are not a swarm faction. Bring back Malice? I don't think they're gonna bring back Malice. As much as I would love to see Malice return, I don't think he's gonna come back. Yeah, Nemerian, that's probably the most likely thing the most likely thing I think I've seen so far, mentioned in chat, is that maybe he's related to the Ogroids. Or the Fomoroids. Like, that I could totally see. So the Bug faction are more like mole people myth, but bugs, kinda. I mean, we know they lived in the Beastgrave. We know that they, like, would fill chambers with, like, liquid amber. And they basically could, like, crystallize themselves in it to sleep for a long time. and they were aware of things. Like, they were aware that there were some things that were coming and they hid away from them. But now that the Beastgrave is waking up, and a lot of people have been running through it, doing stupid crap, it's been causing the bug people's chambers to, like, get drained and stuff, and they're starting to wake up. But they're big bug boys. When are we going to get AOS Famir? I have maybe never. I don't know. The Famir were weird in AOS because the Famir actually went from being a Chaos faction to a Destruction faction in AOS. Hey, Silger, thanks so much for keeping your sub going. I appreciate the support. Thank you. AOS Necrons? I don't know. I'd have to reread the Beastgrave book. Like I said, dudes, there's so little lore on them, though. It's literally like a paragraph, and that's it. The fish people in fantasy had more lore than the bug people do. Where are the Zotes from? Do you mean, like, who... What do you mean by where are they from? How long to the next lore video? Soon. If you mean just lore in general, the Chaos Swords will be out this week. Like, between now and next Saturday. Part 1, anyway. Jack Brown, thanks so much for the super chat. On Kurnos's 1D4chan article, it talks about an AOS horror novel implying about Kurnoth and a dark Kurnoth if you want to take a look at it. Oh! I have not, yeah, I'll look into it. I have not read any of the horror. So for like horror books, what GW tends to do is like toss them all together in like anthologies. Ooh, excuse me, because they're more like, they tend to be more short stories. And a significant amount of the horror books are dedicated to 40k, which is why I usually avoid them. But yeah, if there's something interesting there, I'll pick it up. Are there Amazons or Amazon? Yeah, there are Amazons in Warhammer. Oh, you mean in AOS? There is assuredly something like the Amazons. They would basically just be cities of Sigmar, though. It's the book called The Dark... Oh, it's by Josh Reynolds? Yeah. I will look into it. Hey, Drunken Mr. Ironlug, thanks so much for coming by. I appreciate it. What's my opinion on the Vermintide 2 Chaos Waste news? I have no opinion until I know more about it. It seemed like a super lackluster announcement so far. I'm not sure, like, but there's so little I know about it. We know that there's no new enemies at the start, but they specifically said there are no new enemies at the start. So I'm wondering if maybe they will add new enemies later on? Like, I don't know. We'll have to see. No units, not interested. Well, it depends. Like, there's so much I need to know about it. Like, I'm curious, like, is it going to have a lot of maps? Is it going to be story-based? Is it going to add new mechanics? Is it going to add new weapons, new careers? Like, we don't know anything. What are those bugs that can survive in space called? What? Oh, you mean can't cockroaches do that? Can't cockroaches survive, like, virtually anything? Oh, someone says tardigrades. I've never heard of those. Tardigrades. Oh, the sea bears! Yeah, I've heard of those. Water bears, yeah. I've heard of them. Tough little bastards. Aren't they the things that are like... aren't they the things that are like functionally immortal so long as they can be like rehydrated? They'll like come back to, like, they can die essentially, just come back to life. Yeah. If only we could do that. Sounds very convenient. Oh, it's a new Necromunda set. That's cute.
Rapper's moved us on. Of course, these aren't the only new and exciting things we can look forward to next.
Man, Necromunda is an interesting game. I wish it had a much broader scope. Like, I want to like Necromunda because it seems like it would be fun, but I hate that it's just humans. So it is, it's just humans. So fucking boring. Halogam, congrats, dude. Hope it went well. Jack Brown, according to the thanks for the super chat, my dude. According to the 1d4 chant, Ilario split Kurnoth into two parts. One noble called Kurnoth and another bloodthirsty, which he imprisoned in Gyran. Interesting. Yeah, I'll look into that. Like, there needs to be like a Gene Stealer warband, and Eldar warband, and yeah, like Tau warband with like Kroot or whatever. Like, it's so boring, so boring. Like, the only Gene Stealers they had was Gene Stealer Cult, which is like, we'll give you half points for that. Kragnos could be the Gore Father? I don't think he's mutated enough to be a Beastman. He's way too stable looking. Gene Stealer should definitely be an active in Necromunda setting. Yeah, they have the Gene Stealer Cult, but where is that mountain? Beastgrave? The Beastgrave's in Gur. Is Hologam a lawyer? He's trying to be. Turning into one. What do I think about the upcoming Warhammer FPS game? For Necromunda, it looks good. I'll play it. I'll give it a shot. I think that Kragnos is the new Kurnoth. I mean, I'd be down for it. Like, since Kurnoth is dead and Kurnoth presumably cannot come back, maybe Kragnos is someone that was like equal in power to him or something, and he's like coming out and is going to like take over the Kurnothi. Like, maybe he's gonna be a rival or partner god to Ilario. That could be interesting. I mean, there can be multiple gods for an area. It seems like new gods are popping up left and right now in AOS. Yeah, his hooves and shield were a rumor engine. Yeah, I recognize his shield. I know a lot of people were hoping that his shield was going to be like a new golem. I remember a lot of people. I remember watching a speculation video where people thought the shield was going to be like a golem or a new, some kind of new Dwarden thing. Okay, what's this? Oh, Skitarii. Really? More Mechanicus? I feel like Mechanicus have gotten a lot of love over the last few years. God forbid you're a Xenos fan these days. Oh, look at that. So it's a new character? That's pretty cool looking. Oh, they're getting their new book. That's exciting. So, new Mechanicus book, and they get one new character. That seems good. That seems solid. Mechanicus range is basically got overhauled in the last few years, so giving them a new character to go along with the new book's great. Good for them. bored of augmented humans, have more augmented humans. Praise the Omnissiah. Luther Harkin soon? Luther Harkin is never going to show up in AOS, I'll tell you that. If we're lucky, then Warhammer the Old World will introduce the Vampire Coast as a full playable faction after their popularity in Total War, but we'll have to see. When I talk about the possibility of the new Beasts of Chaos named characters, I never bring up the possible All-Herd named character they hinted at in the Beasts of Chaos Battle Tome. Probably because I keep forgetting about him. Because whenever I talk about the Beasts of Chaos, my brain literally goes, I know there's 3, but I can't remember the third one. Because it's Morger, Krakenrock, and then I always draw a blank on who the third one is. What if 8 Luther Harkin showed up, 1 for every personality? Well, that would just be stealing from the Greyhorn Rat at this point. Has any Chaos person ever betrayed Chaos and helped the good guys? Yes, that happens a lot. Not because they actually want to help the good guys, but because they want to spite other Chaos. That happens a lot. I do feel... how's the Drukhari range holding up right now? I did feel kind of bummed for them that they got their new book, and didn't the only new model they get was Lilith Haruspex? Or did they get other new models in that kit against the sisters? Hey, BR, thanks so much for coming by, my dude. How am I liking the stream? It's good. The Soulblight Gravelords is a super duper exciting release. I'm very tired, so please forgive my subduedness. I prefer Lilith's old model. Only Lilith. Yeah, that's a bummer. I feel like the Dark Eldar could have used some new models. Like they didn't get a new character. They literally just got an old character and a new model. Like they didn't get a single new thing. That's kind of a bummer. Yeah, I know Craft World Eldar, I think they're the oldest range in, like, the entire 40k setting. Like, if there is any Xenos faction they need to do what they did to Necrons, it's Craft World Eldar. Who's stronger, Sigmar or Archaeon in AOS? I would say Sigmar is stronger than Archaeon. In that, like, I think if the two of them had a flat-out fight, I think the edge would go in Sigmar's favor. But they are very, very close. And Archaeon is more well-rounded than Sigmar is. Sigmar was, like, a good fighter, but he can't use magic for shit. Not actively. He just kind of, like, throws lightning bolts at people. But, like, Archaeon's, like, a really terrifying wizard right now. Dude, that book art is sick. I'm gonna be honest. That is like some badass, disturbing art. That dude in the center is terrifying looking. Also, who are they fighting? These guys look like the Krieg guys, right? Dude, this thing's a monster. Fucking Christ. Where's this model? This, like, fucking giant. That's supposed to be Belisarius Crawl? Really? Good lord. That artwork is much more terrifying than I normally see about him. Hydrate? Thank you. Is that how big he is? Good lord, dude. Does Skitarii have spears? Yep, looks like it. Admech is such a cool race. I wish they were Xenos, though, and not just machine humans. Oh, yeah, you're right. These are soldiers facing forward. I thought these were guys like falling backwards with weird like hand cannons, but no, you're right. Those are like backpacks. Dude's the size of a Primarch. Good lord. I mean, I like Belisarius' Call. He legit seems to have done so much to make most of humanity way more interesting than they used to be. He's like single-handedly shoved a lot of the setting forward. I should stream Mechanica someday. I want to. I know it's a good game. Why do I have 4 Discord messages? I don't think we're getting any more AOS stuff, so I'm just kind of like trying to survive here until the end of the stream. In case they pull some BS and they're like, here's a big final thing. Fuck you. Do you think that Adeptus Mechanicus count as the Faith, though, for this? Like, Faith and Damnation, but... I don't know, like, Faith isn't really a term that comes to mind for the Mechanicus. Yeah, I'm the Saiya and stuff, but I don't know. They don't strike me as the most faithy faction. But aren't they supposed to reveal some, like, new tanks today or something for 40k? No, it's Sisters. Yeah. Do I think Bellicor will get a new power boost to match Archaeon in his new book? Yeah, I do. I think Bellicor and Archaeon are gonna have some issues. What do I think about the theory that the Great Horned Rat is part of Tzeentch, or was created by Tzeentch to drain power from the other gods? I do not believe in that theory. I think the Great Horned Rat is I think he is an embodiment of decay, but like in a spiritual sense. Well, God, talking about the difference between him and Nurgle and him and Tzeentch is always makes me feel like I'm tripping over my words constantly. There's a specific series of events that led up to him that he's an embodiment of like he's an embodiment of a very specific idea of like ruination, but like ruination brought about by decay, not in a disease sense or in a despairing sense, but like in a sense of ruination and things falling down and collapsing apart, not as part of a cycle, but just like falling into degradation for its own sake. Yeah, kind of like entropy. Do these new books for AOS like Broken Realms actually have new rules? Yes. Yeah, they have new lore, but they also come with new rules. Yeah, delete this. If you're a Slaves to Darkness player, then you should have definitely picked up Broken Realms Morathi, because it added rules for you to run. It had rules for Slaves to Darkness. Most notably, it introduced rules to use the Warcry warbands, and they are apparently broken as fuck. Like it's super overpowered apparently. Is this Sisters? Alright, CJ, you must have a good morning, afternoon, whatever. Oh, yep, this is Sisters. Oh, they got like a movie. Oh, yeah, this was the... Oh my god, that model makes me laugh so hard. The freaking baby carrier. Oh, here it is, the new tank. Oh, I wanted it to drive through the window. It's a tank! It's a mobile battle church. Sister, I can't help it. Sister, everything. Anytime I see a Sisters of Battle model, they look so silly to me. This thing is silly looking. It's got like braziers. I think I saw like a rocket launcher on its back corner. That's like the opposite of where we were at now. Sororus Predator? Wouldn't that just be called a cougar? I'm tired. Just gotta hang in there a bit longer, then I can take like a 2-hour nap. And then I gotta go to the Colleyville store. Bellicor versus Malarian? I'm pretty sure Malarian would kick the shit out of Bellicor. I mean, don't get me wrong though. I am happy to see the sisters just getting stuff. I know the sisters of Battle were like, they were a meme for so long because everyone was just so sure they had been squatted. They were just buried. I think one of my favorite memes that I ever saw was there was a guy who wrote a comic that was actually really sad. This guy wrote this heartbreaking comic showing like a sister of Battle with like a Bretonnian knight, and like they almost had a feeling of they were lovers, and it was them like sharing over the fact that they had both been squatted, and like the sister was really depressed, but the Bretonnian knight kept like telling her to have hope and faith that they would come back. And the way the comic ends is after the death of Fantasy and the resurrection of the Sisters of Battle. So you see like the Sister of Battle come back to visit the Bretonnian's grave because, you know, Fantasy's dead. So you just see this grave and she like lays flowers in his grave. It's like super sad. But then when they re-announced they were bringing back Warhammer the Old World, a different artist did like an update to it. So, like, there's a scene where, like, the Bretonnian comes back and they reunite, and I was like, why is this affecting me emotionally so much? Curse City pre-orders tomorrow? No, pre-orders start on Saturdays. So, the new pre-orders for this week are today. Which I think the only thing on pre-order I know for sure is today is the Starboard Stalkers, which are the Seraphon Underworld warband. There will be some... Curse City, I think, is probably going to go on pre-order either next week or the week after. We know Broken Realms Techless is next week, so I could see them doing Curse City the week after that, just because having both of those come out in the same week might be a little much. What has been the biggest / worst massacre genocide to occur in Warhammer Fantasy or Age of Sigmar? The end time... Well, probably the Age of Chaos, actually. Yeah, the Age of Chaos is the worst genocide that's ever happened. Just because the mortal realms in Age of Sigmar are so obscenely huge. Like, a lot of people don't realize how big they are. The mortal realms, like the 8 mortal realms, are probably larger than like 40k as a setting, which covers a galaxy. The mortal realms are obscenely huge. And over the course of like... I think the Age of Chaos lasted for 500 years. Like, literally, just about everybody died outside of Azir. Not everybody, but like 90-95% of all the populations were totally wiped out. Like, billions of people. Billions, trillions, if not more. Who's Kragnos? I have no idea. That's the first time they've ever mentioned that character. True Sid, I've been recently introduced to AOS and I don't know where to start in the lore. Anywhere where I should start? That depends what you want to know about, dude. Who's like your favorite faction or whatever. Do I think Kimmler or Krill will ever come back? No. True Sid, I will say if you're looking for just a generic starting place, pick up the anthologies, dude. Like Myths and Revenants, Oaths and Conquests, or Legends in the Age of Sigmar. Super great. It's just a bunch of collections of short stories. Oh, there's another reveal.
Joins the Red Host.
It's more 40k.
Cursed Sotek spawn.
Scarven Freos and 40k is what is missing.
Oh,
from these setting
what's this?
PTS.
Lads, so they did some stuff, and the orcs appeared.
New orc range?
But there was lots of boys too. Some of them were big.
Orcs,
and some
orcs,
of them were
orcs,
weird.
orcs, orcs,
But they
orcs,
was all
orcs,
mean
orcs,
and
orcs, orcs,
green.
orcs, orcs.
Except the red ones. And the biggest and greenest get around is the big boss. And we's gotta listen to him, cause he's taking us on the great war. That's where all the best fighting is. We's gonna use all the shiny new trucks and
I
ships.
really hope this is a new orc range and not just building.
We don't need that junk. Shut up, you git. As I was saying, the other lads have their shinies and their know-what's. They
What
don't know how to
is
use
that?
them proper. Not like us.
Oh, please say this is a new orc range.
And our squigs. We's gonna drag them
That this would be badass if it was a brand new squig. Dude, look at all these squigs! What is this?
fancy truck coming.
Oh my god.
That's why.
Are these 40k savage orcs?
Strongest in any
Dude, are these 40k savage orcs?
Saddle up, beast snaggers.
Beast snaggers?
Coming.
Okay, show models, please. Oh, come on! You're not even gonna show the models? Oh, assholes. Dude! Dude, looks like orcs are about to get... Orcs are about to get a whole new range. Or like a new sub-faction, at least. Mounted... They're print... Oh, look at that! Holy shit, dude. That's a badass model.
I mean, everything Warhammer does is awesome, but this is a particularly awesome example.
Mounted squig riders.
I am an absolutely enormous
Dude, he's
fan
got like
of
Horizon
Squig
Zero
Riders,
Dawn armor.
And these guys absolutely scratched the my biggest Warhammer itch. This is a beast snagger orc. And
A beast
this particular
snagger?
gentleman is a
Dude, you could absolutely buy these and use them as gore gruntas for AOS.
Squig hog boy, which is a new type of squig we haven't seen before. That is a big, beefy-looking orc on the back of him, and there's even a grot hanging off the side there with a chopper. So there is some very cool stuff coming for orcs. This is the shape of it, and I'm pretty excited.
Please show more.
Dude,
more Xenos! Yeah, let's go! More Xenos! That's awesome. That's super
type of
awesome.
orc we haven't seen before. They are absolutely dedicated to hunting down big, scary stuff. So they find monsters and tanks and titans.
Yeah, so these are Savage
See if they
Orcs.
can
Yep,
take
so
them
there's
down. Kind of
officially
nomadic,
going to be a Savage Orc range for
force
40k. That's
the Orcish
awesome.
war.
They're even like all about hunting
Because
beasts
they
and
kind
stuff.
of take down big, scary things and kind of, harpoon monsters.
That's really cool. Great. Awesome. That's super exciting for orc players.
The application of the right kind of squig, which is absolutely a philosophy.
I hope it's like a bunch of kits. Because like orcs are such a cool group in 40k that need some loving. That's the real faith part of the reveal. Yeah, bring on the wall.
It's just really fun.
Orcs are doing new codex. Well, everybody's doing new codex in 40k. I mean, they just started 9th edition.
1990
I mean, the only armies that have new books so far are Death Guard, Space Marines, Necrons, Drukhari, Dark Eldar. Like just got their new book, or at least it's just about to come out. And Sisters of Battle. Isn't that it? Just those 5?
Wonderful and wacky and new that we haven't seen.
AdMech have been announced,
It's just joyous. Like it's just a wonderfully fun miniature, and I think.
and now we know orcs are on the horizon.
Things that might be on their way as well. So there's plenty more to see soon for orcs. But I think if you're
9th edition 40k only started this last year, 2020. That's a cool model. I hope the orcs get like a ton of new models. I was watching a video from this other content creator who does like 40k stuff, and he was looking at an analysis, like a pure data analysis of how the release schedule has been for 40k since 1987 when the setting started, and it was kind of shocking to see how little Xenos support there's been in like the last 10 years, for the most part. I think it was the last 8 that were really bad. But like the last 8 years, like the amount of Xenos releases has been really bad. Like, it's been super pathetic. And that was including the Necron re-release. So like, you have the entire Necron range getting redone, added on to, well, not the entire thing, but most of it getting redone, bloating up the Xenos number, and it was still pitiful. It was like 25 or 30%. Which, considering that Xenos make up more than half of like the actual races, like that's stupid. Xenos should be like 50% of the releases, not like 25. Well, yeah, I mean, I doubt they're done with Space Marines. Like, if that was actually one thing that they had been consistent on. Space Marines always make up about 30% of like Games Workshop releases. Like at least 30%. But I mean, the Primaris range was basically just to re-release Space Marines from scratch. Honestly, when it comes to Space Marines, I imagine they're getting pretty close to being done with like the generic Space Marines. I could see them starting to get around to wanting to focus more on like the various chapters. I mean, a lot of people want them to bring back more Primarchs, which I don't know if they're going to do or not, because it kind of feels like right now it feels like they're not worrying about, okay, they're done. They're not worrying about like the Space Marines as like a race, like with all the chapters. They're just worrying about like a super generic, you know, just Ultramarines. So I think it's gonna be a while before they get away from that. Yeah, today, they're pretty good set of reveals today. It looks like there's definitely more Orc stuff coming though. Like there were definitely some models that they did not. There were definitely like a decent amount of models. So like it looks like there's definitely. So this is the model we just saw. But it looks like there's one that has like, there's like a bigger beast that has like a bigger orc with claws. There's some kind of new squig modifier. Some kind of new priest. This guy's like all modified with like metal limbs and a claw hand. He's got like squigs hanging from a backpack. And then look at this thing. Look, they've got like a giant boat being pulled by squigs. So you have a giant boat thing being pulled by squigs. You have a single mounted orc riding looks like a bipedal squig. And then a new war boss. At the minimum. So yeah, it looks like orcs are getting a shitload of stuff. Orcs are getting a shitload of stuff. Yeah, they're getting a squig chariot. Pretty hype. But yeah, pretty excited for all the new AOS stuff. There was more AOS stuff than I actually thought there was going to be. To be honest. Oh god, the new Blood Knights, dude. The new Blood Knights are absolutely just drop dead sexy. You know, you got the unit champion. I really like that they actually just included like a female sculpt. I'm kind of hoping they'll make it so you can just like design them to be male or female. So like you can just kind of yeah. So like. Okay, so the banner bearer, the banner bearer is a female. That's probably the unit champion. Do they have a musician? Doesn't look like it. I didn't see. Or maybe there's one. I just can't see can't see it. The new skeleton warriors look super fucking good. Love the new skeleton warriors. New zombies look fantastic. New fell bats are stupid good. And god, I'm excited for that battle tome. That's gonna be a great battle tome. And then we got a new god. A new Aos God that woke up beneath a mountain and we have no fucking idea who he is. And then we got Cannon's Reapers. Oh! Actually, you know what? They literally just talked about the bugs. These are the bugs. Sent on a mission by Nagash himself to collect a tithe of bones from the mysterious Silent People. The Silent People are the bug race. They're the bug people of Age of Sigmar. So Nagash knows of them and has sent people to collect. But the bug people have not revealed themselves yet. I wonder... Man, that's really interesting. I wonder if the bug people are gonna come out soon. Because, like, more and more people are starting to bug them. Haha. Pretty cool looking warband, though. I really like the new... I forget what this guy's called. But he's like a hero equivalent. But he's an executioner. Where I think the alternate version of him is like a bone shaper. What size is the executioner? He's the same size as the heroes for OBS. Can we see the Aos God video? I mean, you can go watch it on their website, but we can watch it here real quick. Here, let me turn off my Skyrim music. It's pretty short.
I was buried in the mountain, trapped under the rock. I have escaped my prison, but my people are gone.
So, yeah. The realm quakes, a god awakens. I have no idea who that is. I have zero earthly idea who that is. We think maybe he's Karnathi related. Because he kind of looks like them. He's got like the same hooves and like the way his fur works is very, very similar. He's very similar to the Karnathi. He just seems way bigger than them. But, like, he has the same hairstyle they do. They all have, like, big hair. Like, almost Slayer hair. And they're all human upper body, or elf upper body, animal lower body. So, like, maybe he's a super Karnathi. Or, like, he's Kurnoth's... I don't know. We'll have to see. Kanan is a Mortisan Executioner. Ah, gotcha. The Ossiarchs are the last Beastgrave warband? No, they're not. The last Beastgrave warband is the Idneth. There's one more. If they said that, they're idiots, because they literally talked about it in an article like 2 days ago. There's one more warband for Beastgrave, which is the Idneth. Which is weird, because it feels like the Silent People should be playable. But, I don't know, I guess we'll see. Maybe he's a Centaur? He doesn't look Chaos to me. He doesn't seem very Chaos to me. Maybe Kraganos was buried in the Beastgrave? Could be. Seems weird they make a race called the Kurnothi and then replace Kurnoth with a different god. Well, Kurnoth is dead. That's the problem. Like, Kurnoth died. He's not, like, missing. He's just fucking dead. He got shanked. So, I could totally see that maybe Kurnoth had a rival, or like maybe his power went to his second in command or something, like a prisoner who achieved godhood and then was like imprisoned for some bullshit. I don't know. AOS version of Orion with a power up, maybe. Alright, my dudes, I am exhausted. I don't know if you could tell. So I'm gonna go lay down for like 2 hours, and then I gotta drive 20 minutes to a neighboring town to go pre-order my Starboard Stalkers. So, I appreciate you all coming by today. I hope y'all had fun. I hope this was a good time, and it wasn't a waste of your time, most importantly. And, oh, Rachel TGG, thanks so much for the, oh gosh, I missed a couple of things. Spartan Elite, thanks so much for keeping your Tier 1 sub going. I appreciate it. Anything big happened so far, I think we got you caught up on that. And Rachel TGG, thanks so much for keeping your Prime sub going. Skaven for Age of Sigmar and 40k, what is missing from both of these settings? Yes, yes. Yeah, Skaven and AOS have not done jack. They have been very quiet since first edition. Hopefully they come back and do something big soon. Like, I would not be against Skaven having, like, their own, Broken Realms book. Anyway, man, that's weird. So we got the 4th Broken Realms book announced already. Isn't that wild? Like, Morathi, they literally just announced Morathi, and then they released it, like, maybe 1 or 2 months later. And now they just keep announcing stuff. Like, they're announcing stuff faster than they're releasing stuff, which is such a weird strategy. You figure you'd, like, keep it consistent. Like, let's release something, then announce the next thing. Instead, they're like, no, fuck it, let's just keep announcing stuff. Broken Realms Thankful, I'd buy it. Alright, guys, I'll see y'all later. I'm gonna go take a nap. Peace.